Hello viewers, I'm Asma and you're watching Virtuoso palette. It's been a while that I was away from any kind of art or craft activity. Today I will show you how to dye the fabric with Batik process. It's a fabric dyeing process in which you create a design with resist technique. And to dye the fabric in Batik, you have to get some fabric, whether it is cotton or silk. So I have a piece of silk here. It's Chinese silk, and most of the people are using the dyes which are ready-made from the market. They buy them in bottles, but I told you that I prepare powdered dyes, and you've been watching how I prepared these dyes using the powder with some salt, and we have been dyeing this for tie and dye technique. Now today we'll do Batik using the same dyes. I have already prepared the dyes because in Batik you cannot dip the fabric in hot dye. You have to make the dye, and then the dye should be of the normal temperature. You cannot dip the fabric with wax in hot dye. So I have a piece of silk, a tong, some powdered dye which I have already prepared, gloves, and the most important thing is the wax. Now this wax, it comes in cakes and slabs, and I'll use this wax to create the crackle effect on the fabric. So let's turn on the flame. If you are allergic with any kind of fragrances or smells, you should always use a mask if you're using wax for any kind of Batik process. So I've switched on the flame and we'll wait for the wax till it melts for dipping the silk into it. So viewers, the welt is ready, it's all melted, and I have folded the fabric so that I dip it once in the pan. Simple fold. I'll use my tong here, and I have to secure my hands using the gloves. Now this is sensitive work. You have to be careful because the wax is hot. You can see, now let it dry. It'll take only a minute, and we will scrumble the fabric when it gets dried, just like you scrumble a piece of paper. If you want it to be quick, you can keep it under the fan for a while. It's still hot. And to give the crackle effect, to scrumble the fabric just like a paper, you have to give it a little time that the wax in it dries well and absorbed in the fabric. Unfold the fabric so that it dries quickly. It's better that you always use a tong holding it. People also use a brush to apply the wax. That is a little slow. Usually when I want crackle effect, I always try to dip the fabric once in the wax. Now it is manageable, and I am unfolding the last fold. Look, It's like a big piece of cracker. There you go. Now I am taking off my gloves. It's up to you whether you want to take them off or not. If you don't feel safe enough, you don't need to take off your gloves. But it's quite controlled regarding the temperature. And I'm doing this. Just like you scramble a piece of paper, it has given the wax some cracks on the fabric. I'll open the fabric and you'll see what I mean. Look, you can see these cracks. And where the wax stays properly on the fabric, it will resist the dye. Now using the tongue, I'll put this fabric in the dye. But before dipping it, let's see the color. Now this is the green shade and it will be a little lighter in tone. This is the green we'll have on the fabric. Now let's use a tongue and dip it in the dye. This is gold dyed, viewers. The fabric should be completely dipped well in the dye. That's enough. Now I'll put on my gloves again because I don't want to spoil my hands here. I'll take out the fabric. Rinse well. Now the wax is still on. I'll unfold it and I'll show you how it looks after dyeing. This is how it looks after the dyeing process. Now look, it's no more white, but we would know about the result after taking out the wax from the fabric. It's gonna take 2 to 3 minutes to dry, enough to take out the wax. See you in a minute.
To remove wax from the fabric, you need newspapers or paper-like newsprint sheets. I'm spreading a few newspapers as a base to iron the processed fabric. I have put and spread the silk piece of fabric on the newspaper base and putting another sheet of newspaper on top. Now I will iron on top of the newspaper sheet that will gradually absorb the wax. Viewers, you can see that the newspaper sheet looks oily as it has absorbed the wax from the fabric. I shall be changing the newspaper sheets until I get the wax removed from my silk piece of fabric. I hope you have enjoyed and liked the final product. See you soon. Bye.